Welcome back to the Nissan March Super Turbo series, guys. The last time you were here we showed you that the core plugs had popped out and that was the coolant issue we were having. On this episode we're going to tackle that. Apparently anything with a Nissan badge absolutely hates me, but I'm determined to push through. Even if it just means getting one shot of this car, we are not giving up. In this episode we've got the new core plugs and we're going to fire straight in and start showing you guys how we are repairing. Max, guys, so we've stripped down what I said. We've removed the back mount, we've got a little bit of raise on the engine here and we're timing it up. So we've removed the spark plug, we've turned it round to get top dead centre. When we do that, that's their original markings, the pink markings you can see there. I'm going to go down in the bottom. So that pink marking there aligns with that notch on the casing there, so we're assuming that that's supposed to be there. But then if you look at the markings at the top, we're out, and I'm not really sure to be honest. I can't really vouch for any of the markings or anything, but that's putting a bit of fear in me. We're going to go by our own markings now. We'll use the bottom one, we're going to put a fresh one in at the top. We're at top dead centre, but that's two teeth out for whatever reason. Maybe that was some of my running issues to begin with, that it was out of timing. I really don't know, but that's where we're at right now. Next part of the process, so we discovered when we removed the belt that we still could not see a core plug behind the tensioner. You'll see that's our second core plug there. Basically it was behind the top pulley, or the top gear, whatever you want to call it, sprocket. So we've had to remove it. Luckily it's keyed though, so it's not too bad, and we've got our own new markings here, and we've removed the water pump. Thankfully it's still whole. This is actually a new water pump, so we're going to refit it. We've inspecting the blades, and the propeller looks good. So we're now on to cleaning up round these areas and try and get our two new core plugs back in. There we go, we have cleaned up round about the areas, all nice and shiny. And what we're using sockets. That's a perfect fit for that one, and Dan's got a slightly bigger socket which is a perfect fit for that one. We're just going to put a little bit of compound just to help seal it, and then we're going to lightly tap these back in. Going to have to be extremely careful with this one that we don't push it all the way through. That one's got a little bit of a stopper lug on it, but fingers crossed we can get this done. It's gone in, it's gone in. See now, do we go for a bigger socket and then that way it stops? You know what I mean? Or something that we can put over the plug so as it can't pop in anyway. It's just a bit flush right now. If you don't, I'll get a job there done. I'm not doing that. I've no. You came what I'm like. One hit and I'll bust that straight through. See if you use the other side. See if you turn it round, and that run it round just the edge. Aye, there. And just do it all the way round in a circle.
Get you happy with that one. Check.
We'll let the viewers decide. The viewers decide. They're the critiques. Looks no bad. I think it's going. Right, it's going in. Tools. That looks a bit better now. Another glorious night here on the Super Turbo. There's Dan's wee legs. You'll be wondering why we're still on this. The core plugs were in. I filled the radiator up yesterday, filled the radiator up this morning, and we've got another leak. I did, Ed said on the forum that he was sure there was a core plug behind the supercharger, which in here isn't exactly easy in there. But that's where we're at now. We're trying to strip the supercharger off it without taking the engine out, so we're going to be diving into that tonight. Some footery jobs. We've already got most of it off. I'm going to show you something with the timing as well, guys. We've got the timing. We've got the timing instructions there. One of the boys kindly sent them on the Facebook page, and it's hard for me to do that now. I won't be able to, but basically because I had to put the engine mount back on so that we can get the supercharger off. But there's a little notch right there. There's a tiny notch there. You can maybe just pick it out, the change in the shape there. And basically this dot here is to line up with that notch, and you can actually see there's a mark on that tooth that someone's previously done. So before we put the mount back on, I did check this and it looks as if the timing is out. So something that we're going to address when we reassemble. Some stuff to take off. There's an electrical connector there which I previously had plugged in. We're taking off boost elbows, vacuum pipe, and hopefully this isn't going to be too hard. Dan's working away down in there. Core plugs are done. Water pump is taken off, checked and resealed. We filled it up with water because we're actually going to flush it a few times, and there's still a leak which I'll insert here. And you can see the leak is coming from the inlet manifold. Little bit of panic, basically because I think there's a water passage runs through the inlet manifold, but I'm not 100% sure. If that's not the case, then it could be a cracked head, which obviously isn't ideal, and that would mean full engine out. I'm going to try and push on just now with a couple of videos just keeping the engine in, because that's going to delays, and Danny's actually waiting on the car to paint, so kind of need to keep going with it. Didn't go as planned again on this Nissan March Super Turbo. Thanks everyone for tuning into this video. On the next one, we're going to be stripping out the inlet manifold and replacing this inlet manifold gasket along with some other components that we find along the way. I know this because I'm speaking to you from the future. So join us next time and see if we can finally get this Nissan March Super Turbo back on the road.